All right, what's good, Freedom Revival fam? You guys ready for another awesome Candidate Connect? I hope you are, because we're about to bring you a good one. All right, so today we are bringing you an assembly member from Southern California. She's a longtime conservative, and we were so excited to bring her on. Her name is Laurie Davies. But before I get too far into that, let's do a quick breakdown of why we are doing these lives. All right, so frequently you'll encounter, once you get the ballot, you look at it through a bunch of names and you're curious, like, who do I vote for? Like, who are these people? How do I know they're trustworthy? How do I know they're worth my time? And what we're going to be doing here in these lives is helping you understand who these people are, why they're worth voting for, and why exactly they're running. And so when we get Laurie in here shortly, opportunity to hear her discuss the policies that she's been standing for. You get to hear her discuss like what she's been doing throughout the assembly and what that means. What's up, Britt? How are
Hey,
you?
we're doing it. Hey, I'm excited about today. We've got a few interviews.
Oh yeah, we've got the lineup today. We're
I
gonna
know,
hit
I'm
the
excited.
trifecta. All right, so Lori is already ready to rock. But before we jump in there, how about let's break down the Candidate Connect and the extent of what we're going to end up doing, how we're going to endorse them, and what is Freedom Revival?
That's such a good question. We actually haven't covered it in a while. So Freedom Revival is a collaborative where we saw that there was something wrong with this system of just the system of systems in politics, especially in California. And so we stepped in to say that one of the issues we see is that the church has been told to step back and just do those church things, but don't involve yourself in politics. And so we stepped in and said, well, that's actually not the way that the church was to behave. And so we are going to reclaim authority as the conscience of the state and to step in and to speak as Christians into politics for the reformation of our counties and our state. So that's what we're doing. And our drive is to make politics relevant, and to make culture relevant, but from the angle as Christians, and to restore what's become such a mess because Christians have stepped out. So that's what we're doing as Freedom Revival. And it's an amazing collaborative. You guys will be familiar seeing our faces a lot, but it's built by an incredible team. So Sean, why don't you just chat just for a second about that, and then we can bring Laurie on.
Yeah, so Freedom Revival can look like it's just the two of us because you see our faces, like what Britt said. But there are a number of us that it takes to make this happen. There's people up in Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino. We've also got a number of people down here in San Diego that what we're attempting to do is really call people into leadership. You know, it's this understanding that we can't all sit back and wait for people to lead. Some of us have to be leaders. And I think, honestly, the church has really failed at this, calling people out. And what we're attempting to do is be an activated version of the church. Like, we're Christians, we love Jesus, and we're also willing to engage in culture. And so that's what we're going to try to do here. We truly believe that California is capable of being saved if the church gets activated again. If the church continues to stay apathetic, then we're just going to continue getting the same things. And so what we have is a bunch of leaders in San Diego County, Riverside, Orange County, that are taking that initiative and getting involved. And we're excited to be a part of it.
Yeah,
So
and then let me just
go
real
ahead.
quick say, if you guys
Yep.
haven't already, we have our voter
Beautiful.
guides. They are front and back, so beautiful. If you are in San Diego County, we're going to be announcing where the pickup locations are for these so that you guys can get your hands on them. I'm going to show you again. We sent one to Gavin, so you don't have to.
Come on.
But
Yes.
these are so
That's
great, you
awesome. I
guys.
love that.
So we're going to be, these are
Yes.
going to be distributed all throughout San Diego. So it's boots on the
Come on.
ground. So you can go grab these, and they're high quality. We'll have flyers as well that you can put on mailboxes and all that. So you can
Yes.
download these as well if you don't want to wait to go grab one at a location at freedomrevival.org. So I think we covered everything, and we can bring Laurie
Yes.
in.
One more thing.
Yes.
And then Laurie, get ready. You're coming in hot. We are helping other counties with their voter guides as well.
Yes.
There's been a hot demand for Riverside, San Bernardino, LA, Orange. We are working diligently, more than you would realize, to get these things accomplished. And
Yes.
we're making a lot of calls, having a lot of conversations with our friends in these counties to get them to you so you can know who you're voting for.
Yes. So those should be released in the coming days. We're wrapping up one county today. We've been on the phone all day long. And so we're really excited. So look for a drop on another county coming within the next 24 hours. So excited.
Come on.
So hold on to
Let's
your
go.
ballots. Do not fill out your
Yes.
ballots yet unless
Yes.
you're in San Diego. Okay,
Yes.
let's go. Let's bring in
Beautiful.
Laurie.
All right, Laurie Davies. So let's give her a quick intro of Laurie as I'm pulling her in. She is a, if you want to give a break down her role and what she's doing.
Yeah, so Lori is, she's currently sitting in assembly and then she is running for re-election. So she's the incumbent. And we're going to get to know just a little background about who she is, what she's been doing as an elected official. So you can know that she is truly fighting for the people and not just doing the career politician thing. And then we're also going to talk to her about her values and issues so that you can know more about what her focus is are in office. So that's what we're going to be chatting with her about. And then if you see Kristen, if you're watching this live down in the comments, she's going to be moderating for us. So if you have any questions and Kristen answers back, she is our extended branch of this, handling all of the comments down there. Hi, Lori.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Welcome.
It worked.
You made it. Technology is a beautiful thing when it works.
Especially when you have people around you that know how to use it.
That's
Yes.
always helpful. Well, actually, I think that's a good segue. What has it been like for you, just to get started? Like, do you have to know everything to become an assembly person? Like, how much do you actually have to know, or how much of this is actually dependent on the team that you build?
You know what? I can tell you it started at the local level because it started on my, and what I tell everybody, can you hear me?
I can hear
Yeah.
you now.
Great.
Go ahead.
Great. I started on my local level as a city council, and I always told everyone, you know what, you want to have a diverse group of people on there. And the bottom line is it's common sense. You listen and you ask questions, and that's how you learn issues. Nobody walks in there knowing all the issues. And it's the same thing when you come up to assembly. You know, you're dealing with every type of committee you can imagine and every type of bill. But the bottom line is I always told my door is open, so please let me know when a bill comes up. I want to know who's supporting it, who's opposing it. I want to speak to both sides so that I can get all the information and make good common sense decisions. And, you know, and really not only what's best for my district, but people have to remember that I don't, you know, I represent my district, but I also, my vote represents the entire state. And that's the we see up here is that they're voting their district, but they're not voting the state. And represent their ideologies don't represent everybody here. So when I vote on something, it's beneficial for the entire state.
Lori, can I ask you, just so for people who might not know who you are, a lot of people are just getting into politics where they're like, everything's a mess and I need to learn everything and it's overwhelming. So can you just brief people real quick on who you are, first of all, and how you got involved, what your history is, so people can know. This is kind of like living room conversations. So just if you can give that in a nutshell, it'd be helpful.
Great. Right now, I live in Laguna Niguel, South Orange County. I'm originally from Wisconsin, turned 18, bought myself a car, drove out, put myself through school in Long Beach, and then headed down to Orange County. My background is restaurants. I've had my business for 22 years now, a small business. I run an event company. And then I got involved with politics because honestly, I was really concerned what was going on up in the state level and the way they were taking local control away. So then I was lucky enough to go on city council and elected in 2020 for assembly. And, you know, it's really important. We have to put our values back into the state. We have to put morals, ethics, and people have got to stand up to what's happening now.
That's beautiful.
Can I ask a question, Sean, just off of that?
Go ahead.
Just to get into the meat of everything. So you've been a small business owner for a couple decades. How did living that and then also walking the line of politics over the last couple years, how did that round out your opinion on what the heck is going on in California?
Well, I can tell you, especially the we're out of work for a good year.
Say that again. I lost you for a second. So start over right there.
My husband and myself both are in the hospitality business. So obviously,
Your audio for some reason is breaking up.
I feel like it's if something shuffles around on the table. Try again.
Jump in there.
Okay,
you got it.
How that works.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Once again, my husband and I both are in the hospitality industry. We know that the restaurants in this industry got hit big time. And I think going ahead and shutting everything down obviously wasn't the right decision. We need to have more than just the medical doctors making decisions. We need to have mental health, and we need economics and economists making decisions when something like this happens, because we realize that shutting down when it came to health, definitely hindered and really put a lot of mental health issues up there. So it has to be a three-pronged decision when we go to do something like this. Plus, I think it should be more of a local or county decision. It shouldn't be a decision from the governor, one person making a decision for all of our lives.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with you
Yeah,
completely.
I think
Go
what
ahead.
you just said is so important, like that multi-pronged attack. And I remember going through everything. That was something that issue actually came up multiple times of why do we have just one person, public health officers making decisions on behalf of everybody. And we don't have this round table that you would think in a republic we would have that. We're 803 days now of Gavin Newsom's state of emergency as of today, which to me is insane. I just went to a concert the other night in San Diego. It was completely sold out and packed. And I think I counted one mask and there was no testing. And I was looking around just thinking, I can't believe we're still in a state of emergency. It's almost like this callous effect that's happening now. What, you being on the inside, what do you see as being the obstacle in this situation that we're in right now with Gavin Newsom unilaterally upholding this state of emergency and then the legislature not being able to take it away from him? I would love to get your thoughts on that.
I think it's very clear because I can tell you, Republican, we brought that up a few times saying, you know what, to bring the vote up to take that down. The bottom line is the state of emergency should just be a very short term. And the people of California elected us to make these decisions. Yet he took the state of emergency and he put 400 laws through and we had nothing to say about it. So
That's right.
what happens though, if the other party actually goes and they're not going to vote against him. And so they know if they do, they're not going to get votes signed, bills signed. And so that's really where it's at right now. But you're right. I mean, this should have been gone a long time ago. When we've got the Super Bowl in Los Angeles and we're still in emergency, there's no reason for that. So that's,
I've got to, I mean, you're touching on so many good things. I've got to interrupt you because I've got a pressing question. So it's been said that the state legislators, so we're talking about the Assembly and the Senate, and there's some people in here that are learning, we're learning, we want to be students and recognize that the California has built up the legislative body of two houses, the upper house and the lower house, the Senate and the Assembly. Laurie Davies is a sitting Assemblywoman, and she is representing Orange County currently, and you will be running for a position that's Orange County and San Diego County, correct?
Correct. I'll be going to Oceanside in Camp Pendleton, God willing. And I can tell you that, so a little bit more understanding. The Assembly has
Say that again. Say that again, just because we're losing your audio a little.
Okay. The Assembly has 80 members.
That's right.
15 Republicans, one.
So what she's saying is there are 80 Assembly members, and there are 19 Republicans, and there are 58 Democrats.
Yes.
And so that leads me into the question, Laurie, what is it like for you to be such a minority, knowing that Gavin Newsom is able to essentially go down the line and say, all of you need to do this or else I'm going to get you removed? Because I'm assuming that's the way politics are. Or am I wrong, and there's something else that's going on?
No.
Oh, hold on. Hold that answer. We can't hear you for some reason. Your audio's...
I don't know why. I'm just in this room.
Yeah, I can hear you. Wherever you are right now, just stick there and answer
hold that. Yeah.
I'm holding the phone.
There we go.
Okay,
hold it.
good.
Just hold it where we're at. That's great. So
okay,
knowing, yeah, go ahead.
But this is real important because people don't understand that we've got a total of 80 members, only 19 are Republicans.
Yes.
So in order to pass a bill, all they need is 41 votes. So they obviously have that, but a supermajority is 2/3. They only need 54. So they have a supermajority, which allows them to pass anything they want, no matter what we say, no matter what the people say. Yes. So that's why it's so important right now is that we need to get up and out there and vote and, help us stay there. We're fighting the good fight, but we need to have more like-minded people that understand good policy. It's not about politics. It's about policy. And representing all of you. So that's why it's like.
Do you think it's possible to flip some seats, like in the Assembly?
Yes.
Do you think it's possible?
This year, I believe we've got maybe an opportunity to get right now. We're looking at 2 seats. But really, right now, the way they talk about it is only 1 out of 5 Christians actually vote. Do you know that if everyone
20%.
went to the poll, that we would actually have a supermajority up here? So we can take this state.
Come on, church.
But we need you guys to get up there and vote. You know, it's all about prayer, but it's prayer in action. So we're counting on you. If this is a time, if not now, never, because you're watching what's happening with these abortion bills coming up. I mean, AB 22, 23. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, this is horrific, but we can't hear this. You know, we really need you guys to get out the vote. We need you to come, especially in the primary. You've got June 7th right now. But we can really turn this, and we have an opportunity. That's why I'm up here fighting. And you know what? It's a super majority, but I've also worked across the aisle, and that was something important to me to get good bills done. My first year, I had 6 out of 6 bills signed by the governor, which really never happens.
Wow.
And a lot of them is public safety.
Okay.
You know, it's really important, public safety. You know, so transportation, business, parental rights. I have a parental rights bill right now, kind of like the one that you have in Florida. You know, that it makes that the parents have the right to know what the curriculum is going to be.
What's the process with that? So the parental rights bill, let's touch on that, because there's a lot of people that have children that are following us, and they're concerned about where California is right now with education. Can you tell us about the bill and where it's at?
Certainly. Right now it's in suspense, which is not a surprise, but doesn't mean that, you know, we can't bring it back. But what we're really trying to do is make them vote on something saying, listen, each parent has a right to know what the curriculum is in advance. They have the right to know what kind of books. They have a right to know what kind of clubs. They have a right to know very easily what the vaccination rules are. We also have another bill that's holding off right now. However, what it does is it said if your school is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, you have the right to, if it's underperforming, you have a right to move to another school. So
what are those bill numbers so people can look them up and follow if you know them off the top of your head?
I'm going to look here. Education. Oh, yes. AB 1785 is the Parental Bill of Rights.
Okay. 1785, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The other one is AB 1786.
1786. Cool.
Those two right there. And that's allowing you to change schools if your school is underperforming.
That's amazing.
For everyone.
School choice, which is so important.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, because I love that you are in there and you're actually slaying. You're not just sitting, having coffee and calling it a day. I love that. You're my kind of woman. So thank you for what you're doing. I'm like, yes, this is what we need. Let me ask you this. What do you see going into the next couple years, if and when you are elected, being the most important issues that you are going to fight for in that seat in California?
Parental rights, probably number one, and also crime. You know, right now we've got incredible bills out there that are just tying the hands of our law enforcement. We're watching AB, you know, when we had Prop 4757, letting criminals out. And I've also worked really hard with parents that have lost their kids to addiction for the last 12 years. I have a bill last year that passed allowing Narcan, which will really revert overdose costs, the process going on. And now it's mandated to be in every treatment center. And the one right now is we have a really good one that's already gone through unanimously over to the Senate. And this one's important. What it does is it allows you to take fentanyl tools that, such as if you find a pill or something, you can actually test it to see if there's fentanyl in it. Also, there's a straw that you can test to see if the date rape drug is in a drink. So you could actually put that. So this would hopefully get this off the category of paraphernalia. So you could actually purchase this, or schools could have it, colleges.
Brilliant.
Name it.
Empowering the people.
Empowering the people. I mean, to me, this year was the most. 120,000 people died of drugs, and like 80% of it is fentanyl, and no one's doing anything at the border to stop this.
Yes.
Which is another big issue.
Huge. So I want our viewers to know that you were voting on Assembly Bill 2223. You were in 2 of the committees, is that correct, that voted on this bill? Is that accurate?
Yes.
And you were in the minority that voted, you stood against it, you spoke against it. What's it like for you to be the minority where you're do they intimidate you? Do other legislators come at you? Does Gavin Newsom, what is that like for you?
No.
And before you answer that, for those who don't know what 2223 is, 2223 is the Assembly bill that would, in some sense, legalize what could be infanticide. So there's a term perinatal, which is very ambiguous in the bill itself. And because of that ambiguity, it leads to many concerns that this is the quote unquote infanticide bill, which would allow murder of a born human to be codified into law and legal in California. And then you were out there speaking against it and voting against it, which is huge. So
it's
yes,
huge.
could you
Please
share
elaborate.
about that?
Yeah, because they have a supermajority, they don't usually, get on you because they know that they've got the vote. But for me, this was so important. And I can tell you, being in that first committee, watching at least 200 people come through, residents, parents, kids saying, vote no on this. And then automatically, when it was done, automatically just voting aye, yes. And I spoke up and I said, these are the people that we represent. You've got 200 people plus how many, emails. I said, we got like 1,000 emails in one day, and letting them know we are not supporting this. I said, but their voice tends not to be, heard here. And I said, you have to remember that it's not just the district you're voting for all of these people here. And it's important. You wonder why there's no transparency or trust. Is because something like this.
That's right.
So,
does it matter when people show up? Because Britt and I are part of a pretty strong and active community here in San Diego, where we've shown up to the County Board of Supervisors when they're announcing an agenda item that we know is going to destroy the community. We've seen 500 people show up, and we've also seen those legislators vote against what we, the people, have desired. So does it make any effect when we show up and call and send emails?
You know what? I think it does, but I think there's also a good way of doing it. You don't want to look like you're on the other side of that fanatical of what they're doing right now. So I always try to just let people know it's important. Make your call. And for me, when someone calls, even if it's not my district, I tell them thank you and I write it down. A lot of your electeds will say, well, you're not in my district. Where do you live?
Certainly.
But when you do call and when you stand in line, I think it's important that you basically you can say your name, where you're from, and your vote. And I think it's important to say, I am a constituent from so-and-so's district, and call that person's name out. So it's heard. So they know, elected so-and-so going, do you hear my voice? It's a no. And do respectfully. And that's what's important. If we're consistent and you keep calling out that person's name of who you want to, who represents you, because they have to start being accountable. But normally no one knows who's representing these people when they're going up and saying what they're saying. So call them out, make them accountable.
I love
Laurie,
that.
I know we only have a few more minutes with you, and then we're going to let you go because you are busy doing the good work in the Assembly. You are running for California Assembly District 74. It's the newly redistricted district. And I want you to leave people with the reason why when they go to the polls and they see your name there, why they should vote for Laurie Davies.
Certainly, and thank you both for the opportunity. I humbly ask for your vote. I've got a great experience record, not to mention that I'm not afraid to stand up. You know what, being a Christian, I believe that I'm here for a reason, and that, it's a good fight, but I will always stand up for parents. I will stand up for the safety. I will stand up for job opportunities, and know that I do the work. Like I said, I'm able to work across the aisle, even though I'm a minority. I actually got 6 bills passed, and that's because I work across there, and I also know that God, is there, and He's got me up here for a good reason.
Come on,
so good.
wow!
And we need your support.
Said. Yes. Well, so I think you're in a unique position because you've been in Orange County for a while. What's it like for you now, kind of spreading into a new county to try to build up support?
You know what, trying to get out there, and what's really important for me is when I get down there is asking people, what are your concerns? Talking to business owners, how can we make things better? My job is to make good policy at the state level. So for me, I want to know what the concerns are. What can we do with the homelessness? There are things we can do. It's just we need to get them up here to actually do the right thing and put the money where it belongs. But know that, my door is open. If you have a concern, my staff will answer that phone. We will make sure that any concerns you may have, we're there to take care of them, and that we represent you.
I love that.
I hope that, I have the opportunity. It is beautiful down there. I feel very blessed to be able to, have that opportunity to be in Vista and Oceanside and Camp Pendleton.
Yes.
So good, Laurie. Well, we just thank you so much for being with us and for sharing your values and just so that we could really get to know you. I think it's really important when people see names. And again, you're going to be right here on our voter guide.
Thank
Assembly.
you.
You are endorsed wholeheartedly by Freedom Revival.
Oh,
We
yeah.
appreciate what you are doing. And
Totally.
we are boots on the ground down here getting these voter guides all over San Diego, which is your new district. So
Yeah.
we are championing you,
That's
and
right.
we appreciate the work that you're doing
Yeah.
in the belly of the beast in California. And we believe in you. You know, we believe that it's so important to bring people into that seat and to uphold them in that seat when they are fighting the good fight and doing the good work. So we are
Yes.
so appreciative for the work that you are doing. And we
Yes.
really do hope that you are going to continue in that seat and continue
Come
to
on.
fight the good fight for the people. So thank
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. And you know what? Thank you guys for doing the good fight. It was
Yeah.
so refreshing to know that we're not just up here alone, because we really, sometimes it feels like it.
Oh yeah, you know, honestly, it's a joy for us to get engaged and realize that we have a role in the game. And before we get off, I want to make sure people have an ability to find you, Laurie. What's the best email, or forgive me, your website and your Instagram, and maybe any socials that you might have that people could follow you
Yeah, and how people can support you.
and support you and
Fantastic.
donate. Yeah,
Go
get it.
on my website. Yeah, go on my funders were like, don't forget that.
Yes.
We
Thank
got
you. Go on my website. It's Davies, Davies, 4FORCA.com. You'll see my Facebook, all the different ones. We have Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. And you know what? We need walkers. We need people to call. And you know what?
Beautiful.
Donations, doesn't matter how big. Every
Yes.
penny counts for us to get the message out. And obviously, you know, it does cost to run.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just a reminder real quick for anyone who's like loving you and they want you to stay in that seat, we are
Yes.
going to be posting the pickup locations for this voter guide. This is
Yes.
such a great way to get this plastered all over your neighborhoods and in your spheres of influence so that Laurie Davies stays in her seat. So if
Come
you
on.
love her, then make sure you're following us at Freedom Revival. Follow Laurie as well. And then let's keep her in this seat. This is so important in California that we keep good people who are doing the good work in their seats. So
Yes.
again, Laurie, we just thank you and we honor
you.
you. We really do appreciate the work that you are doing.
Yes.
God bless.
Yeah, absolutely.
too.
Thanks for coming on with us. We appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We'll
Bye-bye.
see you
We'll see
soon.
you
Bye.
again soon.
I hope so. Bye-bye.
Bye.